Man, goddamn. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, you too, brother. How's it going?
Doing well, man. I'm a fucking huge fan of yours.
Oh, thanks.
Dating back from the Bubba days.
Cool.
I also served, so that's what makes this a little more special for me.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yes. You doing good?
Yeah, could not be better, man. Could not be better. Like, of all the places to be during this whole mess, Florida's like one of the best.
I'm back west in California, man, and there's no joke over here. They do not play.
Yeah. I love California, but it seems a bit much right now. Yeah, for sure.
All right. I want to start by saying super proud of you and what you have done in your life. And we are super excited to, have your back in this situation and to try to help you out, with some publicity and yeah.
Oh, great! I really appreciate it.
So my first question would be, what is your goal, man? And can you be the man?
Yeah.
You have been the best number 2 to Bubba. You obviously can tell when you were on the Stern Show, the hand you had in the creation of the art over there. And you've proven to be the best writer, the best producer, but can you be the man?
Well, and that's a good question, and that's what I really wanted to find out. I really wanted to find out if I could put it all together and deliver it the way I wanted to. So that's a question that I don't know the answer to yet, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to actually get on the air and do it, which we're doing.
Hell yeah! I know that there's a guy named Jeff on your podcast or on the Twitch channel. His voice sounds familiar, and I can even name some of his catchphrases. Who was he in the Bubba world?
He was known as Coco on Bubba's show.
Oh, Coco. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he was with us for a while on Bubba's show, and him and I did a show on WDAE, which was 6:20 a.m. here in the Tampa Bay area years ago. So, we've had a vision for a long time of us doing a show together, and luckily he was available to do it. So we're we're having a good time putting it together every day.
Okay. This is one of the catchphrases I remember from him. He was like, So I told her to pull out my deal and stroke the rocket, or I don't know, something like that. I wrote that down maybe like 10 years ago, and I use it, a time or 10.
Yeah, those are fun, and it's just a fun, more creative way to say things too. So people know that we're joking and we're busted balls. And we're not being overly serious and not taking ourselves seriously. So it's a fun way to say things.
What is the plan for you guys in programming? What is programming when it starts going full speed? What is programming going to look like for this channel?
So we have the main show every day from 3 to 6 Eastern, and then Caitlin is doing her show on Wednesday nights, which is an exercise show. The plan is for Thursday nights to be Hunting the Beast, which is the serial killer show. Friday night.
I remember that from Radio I.O.
Right, yeah. We're going to do that. And Friday nights, we've already started. We started this past Friday night. We start, Friday show kind of rolls into a Friday night party show. And then I think Monday nights we're going to start doing a watch party, which on Twitch we can watch movies or a TV series with people live on Twitch. We're going to start doing that on Monday nights. And then on Tuesday nights doing some video games with people. And then
you're a gamer?
Yeah, well, I like the sports games myself.
Yeah.
Caitlin plays Resident Evil, but Jeff and I play a lot of the sports games, and we have for decades.
Like Madden?
Madden, MLB, NHL, FIFA.
A bunch of shit talking, I can see.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. That's all it is. And then, we're going to do Tuesday nights, some video games. And then on the weekends, now that things are opening back up, we're just starting to get started. But when things open back up, we're just going to randomly go live out at the parties that we're out on the weekends and see what kind of footage we can do. Or we're going to film stuff while we're out, and we'll edit the video down and play it on the main show. So that's the goal. And my goal is with, a year from now to have, anytime you click on the channel, there's something running, either a rerun or a live show. So.
Sorry. What are the different challenges between Twitch and broadcasting? We know you to be, I mean, in my opinion, I don't just see the character, I see your contributions. You're one of the best in the game. I mean, it is. I mean, in my opinion, the Bubba Show from 2006 to 2011 is probably the best radio ever made.
Yeah, agreed.
And a close second is the time you're on the Stern Show. What do you think is the challenges you're going to have to deal with the two different, comparing the two, Twitch and broadcasting?
Well, with there's some positives and negatives. So some of the challenges are we just have a smaller group of people working on stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's also a positive. There's, with no program director or no general manager or no executive or VP of programming, you can actually get ideas on the air a lot faster, and you don't have to go through these layers of standards and practices and things that you have to go through in broadcast when you're working for a huge corporation. So that is, and the other main challenge is, it's your show, so there's no, days off or no taking your foot off the gas or anything like that. It's constant work. But on the other hand, the freedom from having people that have created nothing telling you what's good and what isn't good is worth it.
Has there been anything that you thought was the best idea in the world that just got shut down in your last stint with?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I just can't. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. I mean, my MO is to come up with tons and tons and tons of ideas, and then sift through them and get to the best thing. So to get the best thing on the air, but it's just a constant flow of we can do this, we can do that. Even when I'm out and about, I'm just like, this will be good for the show, that'll be good for the show. It's just a constant stream of bit ideas or segment ideas. It doesn't stop. So I'm sure there is something that I thought was great that got shot down, but I mean, who knows? Like it's just so much. The volume is just so much that I can't remember right now. I know with Bubba's show, I know one thing we wanted to do is, you were in the military, I was in the military. I wanted to do the military gas chamber that you have to go through when you're in boot camp. I wanted to do that on the radio. The executives really put a kibosh on that. But I thought that would have been funny to do on the air to get people's reactions as they're coming out after being hit with CS gas. But
oh my God, that shit is gnarly, huh?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And I would have loved to get that on, but we truth be told, like a lot of crazy stuff we did get on the air, so I can't complain too much about that.
Well, I mean, I can only see the crazy shit you guys put on there, so I can't even imagine.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Some of the meetings with Sal and Richard are some of the most bizarre ideas you've ever heard, but that's the way those guys are. It's great stuff.
It really doesn't allow people to just sit in a box and be stagnant, No,
and that's the thing you can't allow yourself to do. Is you can't allow yourself to sit and get complacent and stagnant.
Who is your target audience?
Oh, it's definitely a target audience is definitely males 25 to 54.
25-54, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely the target audience, and we get some a little on the younger end, some on the older end, but it pretty much holds in that range. That's who really gets the extreme hyperbole. Like the show is basically the news meets South Park. So if you get that extreme hyperbole and making fun of real life, and not being offended by everything, then you're our audience. So that's mainly what guys 25 to 54, mainly we want the guys that are into sports, that are into music, that are into video games, guys like that are into that kind of stuff. I mean, if you're not into those type of things and not into hot chicks or whatever, sex stories and things like that, then it's probably not going to be the show for you.
My next question is, so do you feel, and this is not a slide at you, this is just knowing your personality, do you feel you might be too opinionated to be the lead?
No, because I think the lead has to be, I've always believed the lead person has to be super opinionated and polarizing. And so if you look at anybody that's really, really good or really, really made it, whether it's Howard or Bubba or Glenn Beck or Jim Rome or Rush Limbaugh, even anybody that's really, really good in radio, they're opinionated and polarizing. So I think that's what you have to be the lead person. So I am super opinionated, but I don't think that's a hindrance. I think that's actually a good thing, because the worst thing you can do is not have an opinion and be neutral. I think that's the worst thing you can do. I think that's the most boring thing any radio host could do. I want to feel something. Either I really agree with you and be with that guy, or be upset. But I don't want somebody that's milquetoast and in the middle. That to me is just really boring programming.
Do you carry around like a notebook or something? Because you're talking about earlier.
These days it's iPhone, but I keep it in my notes on my iPhone.
It's hard for me to do that. Like, I have to have a piece of paper. Like, I literally, like, when you have those green notebooks in the military, the memo?
Oh, yes.
So I carry one of those. I have, like, one, because I get high a lot. I smoke a lot of weed. So I keep them around my house. So if I'm high, I'm like, oh, shit, where's my fucking notebook? Because I run a magazine. I have my own podcast.
Great.
And I'm constantly writing ideas down.
Well, I also have a calendar. It's an at-a-glance weekly, monthly calendar that I also write stuff in, just to keep stuff written down. But when I'm out and about, we have an iPhone, and then my wife, Caitlin, also keeps notes on her phone when we're out, so we don't forget to talk about stuff on the show.
I've watched a couple of your shows, and I have to say, I'm super surprised. Caitlin is fucking the shit on that show.
Yeah.
She really keeps you keeps you focused, keeps you grounded. She is the you from Bubba. You know what I mean? Yeah. I really she's really worked hard at it, and I've really worked with her for years, really. Especially this last 2018 and 2019 on the Stern Show. Like, I would bounce a lot of my bid ideas off of her. And sometimes even if she didn't like an idea, her reaction to it, I would know, okay, well, this is good, before I would bring it in. Like, if she didn't like something but she reacted to it in such a way that she was annoyed with me, I knew that was going to be good, because Robin would get annoyed with me almost with some of the same rhetoric. So she's really worked hard at it and done well, and picked this up very, very fast.
You painted this one?
Yes, I did. Sorry, excuse me.
Over here.
And I'll repaint that. Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry. My house is a mess right now. I had a slab leak, and then I'm in my studio and they came in. So, all right, I apologize.
That's okay.
To switch gears a little bit, I would like to. What was the catalyst that broke you and Bubba?
It was just
if you want to talk about it, like I understand.
It was just so we just finished a lawsuit that had taken 5 years, and over that 5 years, I was doing the show and having to go over to lawyers' offices and do depositions and pretrial motions, and it was just, I was burned out. I was completely burned out from doing legal work and radio work all day. I just couldn't do it anymore. I needed a break. So I made sure that Bubba was good, made sure he won his lawsuit, and I made sure that the show was in good shape and number one when I left, I wanted to walk away and leave him in good shape, but I was completely burned out.
What'd you do? Because you were gone for maybe 4 or 5 years, like just off the mainstream maps.
Yeah,
what was that like?
Yeah, I left Bubba's show in 2013, and I went to California for a year. I worked with Neil Strauss, who is probably one of the best, if not the best, American nonfiction author today. And then I did a show with Mary Lou Henner, the actor, and I helped her get her radio show up and running, and I worked with KFI in Los Angeles for a little bit, and then got hired.
Man, I wish I knew you were out here.
Yeah, I got hired in 2014 by the Stern Show. So I was with the Stern Show from 2014 to 2020.
Would you, if you had to, like, if you guys had to redo everything, if you had a mulligan, would you have redone? Would you have decided to leave Sirius again?
Yeah, it was that time. It was just, I had
not you personally. The Bubba show.
Oh, the Bubba show.
When you were at the helm over there.
You know what? It really wasn't. It was Bubba and his agent's decision. So that would really be a question for them.
What about you? If you,
I would probably have stayed. I would probably have stayed with Sirius a little bit longer, if given my choice. But then sometimes you just have to because take a chance with Radio IO or whatever. Sometimes you got to take chances whether you want to or not. But at that time, because Sirius XM was still growing, I probably would have stayed a little bit longer. But it is what it is, and you get to where you are at this point. So you can't really go back, and you don't get any redos. So that's the way I'd want it. And sometimes you fail, and sometimes you hit a home run. But it's just the way it goes.
I believe that you're one of the reasons that kept that place going and together. And you can see the definite myths of you when you're gone.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's when I stopped listening, man. Like when I was in my car, I remember I heard you crying off of the, when you got fucked up on Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels, yeah.
Dude, that fucking broke my heart, bro. Like, I don't know you. I've never talked to you before, but to have a love for somebody, that you don't know, or like just like a TV character, and to hear that from you really fucking broke my heart.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, and I still to this day I have to stay away from Jack Daniels and stay away from whiskey.
That's all I drink.
It's a trigger for me. Yeah, but rum's all good. I Friday night I was drinking Malibu on the air. We all had a great time. So rum's good. Craft beer, that's good. So
the scuttlebutt. If you go on Reddit, if you go on, you look in your comments. There is a rumor, and I know you've addressed it. But I just wanted to ask you: did you punch Rappaport in the nose?
No.
Okay.
No. Believe me. The day. Not that I wouldn't. Believe me, not that I wouldn't. I just haven't.
Don't bust me up. That guy's not scary.
Not that I wouldn't, but if believe me, it would not be a rumor or scuttlebutt. The day I ever smash Rappaport, everybody will know it. Okay. Everybody will know it. So it won't have to be a rumor or scuttlebutt because I'll let the world know.
All right, I got two more in the same vein of rumor and scuttlebutt.
Okay, go ahead.
Coke in the bathroom. That was another thing that I came across on Reddit. They believed that when you and Ronnie were having when Ronnie said that you were breaking down, were you were going in and out of a bathroom? Was that a cocaine deal?
No, I was actually at work. First of all, I haven't done cocaine in many years. Not that I've never done it. I just it's been many years. And probably 5 or 6 at least, for even doing it once. Secondly, that day, and I did a whole show on this on Twitch, but that day, I was having a fight with my wife. So that's the only place I could go. Her and I were battling on the phone. So that's
I heard that episode.
So that's the only place I could go. So, Ronnie was right. He wasn't lying. Like, what he observed was right. He just didn't know the reason why. Nobody did. And I wasn't outwardly upset with people. I was just being super quiet and going to the bathroom and coming back. So
reserved, yeah. All right, the last scuttlebutt and rumor. You posted pelicans on your social media this weekend.
Yeah.
That's not a slide to no one.
No. No.
Bro, I had to ask it. I had to ask the question.
No, I love animals. No, seriously, I love animals. And I was just sitting there, drinking a beer, and I was watching these two. I was sitting there watching. I was really high too. And I was sitting there watching these two pelicans, and I was at the Hooters at Madeira Beach, Florida, and it's the greatest Hooters in fucking America. You can sit there and watch the boats and the wildlife right there on the beach from the Hooters. It's fucking amazing. So I'm sitting there watching these two pelicans. I'm like, wow, I'm going to take a picture of this. These birds are really cool, and it's really soothing me. So no, it wasn't a slight at anybody. It's like, believe me, it's I love Howard. Him and I are brothers, but so it was no slight. It's just I love wildlife. That's it. I'm a wildlife lover.
What is your? I had to ask him about my man.
No, please. You can ask anything you want. I'll answer anything.
All right, going back, I'm going to circle back around because I missed this question.
Okay.
Your catchphrases, do you write those down too? Like when you hear something cool, do you write them down on your phone?
No, those are.
Or
things,
are those just forever?
Some of those I came up with, Jeff, because we all both went to high school together. We came up with from playing football in high school and just being generally crazy in high school. And the other times it comes to me on the air. Those, when they come to you on the air, and you know if they work by the audience reaction. So it all just comes to me. It's kind of a natural thing, and they either catch on or they don't.
What is your take on the whole COVID situation?
Oh, it's crazy, man. So I think about it in two different ways. So in one way, yes, it's a virus. Yes, it's real. Yes, it does kill people, especially people with health problems. All that is true. On the other hand, I read this book by a guy named Gabor Mate. He spelled his last name Mate, Gabor Mate. And he has a book called When the Body Says No. But he talks about how your mental health and your physical health are intertwined. There's no separating the two like we try to do in Western medicine. So I think you're at the point now where you've got to balance people's mental health, because people's mental health is getting really bad, getting really declined from being cooped up. Humans aren't meant to do this. And it's going to start manifesting itself in other physical ailments and probably make the problem worse than it would have been than if you tell people, hey, try to stay away from people when you're public, wear a mask if you feel it to be necessary. But, we just can't keep everything closed forever. I know that people want to do that, and I know that people want to feel safe and secure and all that. But at this point, our mental health, the economy, and the last couple of weekends I've been riding my bike with my wife out to the beach, and it just has made me feel so much better physically and mentally just from being out and being around people and being at the beach. So I think that we need to give people the information, tell them if they choose to take these precautions, take them, but also get the country back up and running, because people's mental health is just as important as your physical health, because those two things are intertwined.
Fucking A. Who inspires you? Your art is a little different, so it can definitely come from different areas. It could be a musician. It could be. So when you do your art, who inspires you?
Well, South Park, really, Trey Parker and Matt Stone really inspire the shit out of me. I wish they would do more. Shows in a season, but hey, and then so those two guys, huge inspiration. Also, the guys in Lamb of God are a huge inspiration.
Dude, you know that I'm interviewing them in an hour? Mark Martin?
Tell Mark I said hello. I met him recently. Those guys are awesome. I can't wait for the new album. They delayed it a month, but I'm ready.
I have the album. They sent it to me. It is really good. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you in this magazine, because I knew you were a Lamb of God fan. I didn't know to what extent.
Huge.
But I would love to put you in the same magazine. They're going to be on the cover. So. Yeah,
I'm a huge Lamb of God fan. Those guys are a huge inspiration. I'm the same age as them. They do their own thing, and they've kind of, where they're an inspiration is they've kind of cut out their music and their fan base, and they do their thing, and they're really popular, and they're really good to their fans. I really love those guys a lot. They are really just a great band, number one, but number two, they're great guys. I've met Mark and I've met Randy, and I DM back and forth with Willie on Instagram, but those guys are awesome.
Fucking A, they are. Did you ever get upset with Manson in regards to his, the Ned character and fucking, like, he fucked with you? On air, you couldn't tell if you were really mad or you just putting it on.
Well, on the air, mad, yes, definitely, in the moment, upset. But long term, no. Like, that's, it's just part of the gig, man. That's just part of what people do in this kind of genre is just make fun of each other and bust each other's balls. Yeah, so no, not really mad, but
did he ever take it too far?
No, no, he's not. No, not really. I'm trying to think. No, I never got mad, but he's super talented, great guy, and the shit he did was hilarious.
I'm not sure how long ago this was, but when I was doing, I was just doing research on you. I was trying to, I reached out to you like 3 years ago, and you weren't doing any media because you're one of the, in my opinion, top 10 people I'd want to interview or spend time with.
Oh, thanks, cool, man.
And so this is like a milestone for me because I have so much respect for you.
Oh, thank you.
Did you did Calta reached out to Manson, reached out to Big Dick, reached out to Spice Boy, and supposedly it got the kibosh from the Bone, I guess. Did they reach out to you for a show?
No, they didn't. But I'm, with all those guys, like I had nothing against any of them. I just, I think that, it's just. In between Calta and Bubba, I'm not, getting in the middle of that. Like they have their own personal problems with each other. They both have their own points of view there, and they both, whatever they did to each other, it's just not something I'm getting involved in. So I think they know that. They also know I got nothing against anybody. I've let it all my anger go.
That's a good thing. What do you feel could at the moment with the Bubba Show, it seems like it's like he's just hemorrhaging different people. Was he too hard to work with?
Well, Bubba's very very tough on his employees, so it can be difficult for people, and he's very intense. But he's also a super talented guy, so. It's just, I get it. There's people there that, and this went for me too. Just you get to a point where you get burnt out. It's a very white hot intensity all the time. So for me, making it 13 years, I felt like I made it a long time. But yeah, okay. It's super. He's super intense. I think is probably why people get burned out.
For sure. Saints. Can the Saints win a playoff game? I mean,
oh my God,
how many years have they been the best team in the NFL, but just can't get over this hump?
Yeah,
what is going on? What do you think happened?
Years, this last one really hurt with Drew Brees just fumbling the ball for no reason at all. Yeah, it's been 3 heartbreaking years of the playoffs, which is. It's been terrible. So hopefully, I think this year is the last year that they're going to have before they're going to have to really get into some rebuilding. So they've got to do it this year. So hopefully we have a football season, and hopefully they can pull the nose up on it. I'm not happy with them taking Jameis Winston. I'm not a fan of that guy.
He was like he threw 32 interceptions.
Oh my God, terrible!
And he in a season, and then he wants to get paid $30 million. Like that's almost $1 million in interception.
Yeah, terrible. That's terrible. That's awful.
But
that's
also in Bruce Arians' offense, they just air it out a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just throw it to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and Jameis is terrible. And I don't know. Look, the Bucs don't have a great offensive line. I don't know how great Tom Brady's going to do. He doesn't have a lot of escapability. And there's good defensive ends. When I was looking at their schedule, they've got to play Denver. They've got to play the Bears. They've got to, the Falcons now have Dante Fowler Jr. He's going to have a lot of good pass rushers to go up against. So we'll see. We'll see about the Bucs, but hopefully the Saints can win.
I'm a Buffalo fan. What is
You
the
guys got a squad. You guys got a squad. Buffalo's got a team, man. Buffalo's going to be tough to beat this year.
I hope.
That's one of the teams. I think Buffalo and KC is in the AFC. Those and Buffalo's got a better defense than Kansas City. So it's going to be a good year for the Bills, especially without having Brady in New England. You can sweep the Patriots. The Bills can go a long way.
I'm sort of nervous about the Dolphins. The Dolphins, they had a good draft.
Yeah,
I'm not a real big fan of Tua. Yeah.
The Dolphins have been known to blow it, so don't worry.
All right. All right. What is the one thing that you've learned? The top 2 lessons you've learned from Howard and Bubba, respectively.
So the one thing that I learned from both of them, they both do this quite well. Although Bubba's even a little bit better, is to never go at a slow pace or let things drag on too long. You hear Howard a lot go, it's all great, but I got to move on.
Yeah,
I got to move on. Anything else, Robin? You can hear with Howard almost. You can hear the clock ticking in his head. Bubba is just pure ADD on his part. Then that's the good thing about Bubba's show is he's so ADD that if he's losing interest, probably the audience is losing interest. So that's the thing I learned from both of them. And one of the things I learned from Howard is always like pick one type of person in your target audience and keep that person in your mind and talk to that one person.
Oh,
so,
shit, that's a fucking dope thing. Yeah, I like that.
So I learned that. I learned that from Howard. I learned from Bubba if I can never be boring. Always add whatever bit you got, no matter how good you think it is, add another twist to it. So those things there are good advice from both of them.
I did radio for a while up in Santa Barbara, and I've done podcasts for 10 years. Like even to the point like my podcast beat out the FM radios down here.
Nice. That's awesome.
And I modeled myself after that 2006, 2000 to 2011 Bubba crew.
Yeah.
Because I feel it was the best radio ever.
That was some fast-paced radio, man.
Yeah. Fucking A, it was. All right, I got like 3 more questions.
Okay.
Is Lasker the Sour Shoes of BTLS?
No, Lasker's Sour Shoes. Like you never get to who the real person is ever. Lasker, that's all there is. It's this redneck from Florida who does powder coatings in the Outlaws. Like there's nothing else in the race car driver. Like that's who he is. That really is Gene Lasker. Sour Shoes, Michael Del Campo. I have no idea who he is. I have none. Because it's all characters and bits all the time. So they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. Those two.
Did Sour Shoes ever irritate you?
No. I think he's hilarious, and
he's fucking awesome, huh?
He's hilarious. He's great. I did a Christmas special with him at the Stern Show. Great guy. Just there's no real person there. It's all bits and all characters all the time. It never stops ever. Even when you're taking breaks, changing sets, all that stuff. It's all the time.
Have you followed the QAnon?
Yeah, I have.
If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine because I know that you might alienate.
No, I'll say this. There's then this is no comment on whether anybody likes Trump or doesn't like Trump. There are conspiracies. There's conspiracies that are real, that have been proven, that have happened. That one I think is I always start from the starting point of is what's being talked about even possible, and I just don't think that what they're talking about is even possible. So that's what I think. I don't blame people for their minds. You're in your mind you experience this thing called confabulation, and your mind will start to fill in details and make connections where they don't exist. That's just a human evolutionary thing that we do. And there's people that go to jail for conspiracy every single fucking day. So conspiracies do exist. It's just you got to start from the point where is what's being talked about even possible. And I had JFK Jr.'s one of his family members, Patrick Kennedy. He's a real idiot, but he called me up on the phone one day and read me the riot act about what they found left of JFK Jr. And so I believe JFK Jr. is dead. So that's the starting point there. So as soon as they say JFK Jr. is still alive, I'm out.
It would have been it would have been like something that I think people are just looking for something to hold on to.
Yeah,
and especially in a situation like this.
Yeah, and I don't blame them for that. And like I said, it's not a comment on whether people support the president or not. Everybody has their own reasons for who they vote for or who they support. And that's what we serve in the military for, so you get that choice. So it's just like if there's any conspiracy theory, like anybody can Google this, there's a great list of, I think it's like 33 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. You can look it up. There's plenty that are true, but there's got to be proof.
I like that, man. I'm not sure if you guys are going to ever touch those topics of conspiracy theories, but I like the way you describe certain things.
Depends on the theory, and if it's not too much into the left versus right deal, then yeah, definitely.
All right, and I guess I'll wrap it up with this. Have you ever tried DMT? No,
but I want to. I actually last time I talked to Joe Rogan, I was asking him about that, and he said it's amazing. So I definitely want to try it. I haven't, but I'm going to for sure.
All right. Well, if you're ever in our area, I'm about an hour from LA. If you're ever in,
where are you?
I'm in Ventura.
Oh yeah. I know.
So we do the music awards in September. I do a music awards for our area, and
great.
If you happen to be in the area, I will leave some tickets there for you.
That'd be awesome, man.
It's a real good time. A lot of good metal bands and shit.
Love it, man. Love it. And thanks for supporting music of all. That's huge. I love people that support music and support especially the metal community. So
there's a couple of bands out here that I think that you would like. I will DM you if you. I'll DM you on IG.
Yeah,
the bands. I really think you'll love them.
That'd be great,
dude.
Hey, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it, brother.
Brent Hatley, you don't understand what this means to me. I respect you. You got this, bro. You got this.
Thank you so much. Kill it. We're going to. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, man. We'll see you on the other side.
Have a good one. You too, man.
You too. Bye.